Hey everybody, this is Kevin with GrayLine Overland, and I'm coming at you today to give you a little insight into how to set up your layers and what layers are on Gaia GPS. It's going to be just talking about layers, where to find them, what they do, how to determine what you need, and that is it. How to download them, of course. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. We're going to look at the layers that I have here, which are, there's 5 layers that I keep, that I have open and running at most times, and I have them in a certain order so that they have prevalence on Gaia itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from top and work our way down whenever we get there, and I'll explain what the layers do and why I have them in my overlay. All right, so first things first, I want to show you where to get them. So when you open up the layers, let's go ahead and close it out. Okay, so when you open up the layers, you'll see I already have my 5 here, but you come down to the bottom and it says add map layers. This is also only going to be good for those who are using the premium. I would suggest if you're going to do any overlanding, you go ahead and pay for the membership so that you can get all the benefits that come with having a premium membership. Okay, so here we are, and we're in the United States. If we were somewhere else, we'd download some other stuff. There's also plenty of hunting layers, nautical aviation, things like that, road maps, things of that nature. But what we're going to look for is United States, and then as you can see, all these different layers here are layers that you can download and use. Okay. So those are some of the ones that I have. The U.S. Typo, U.S. Forestry Service 2016, Nat Geos Trail Illustrated. Those are some of the ones that I have in here, from here right now. All right, and so that's where you would download some of your stuff, and then you would come back to your layers. Oh, sorry. Come back to your layers here, and like I said, this is what I have. All right, so I'm gonna toggle off these layers to kind of show you a little bit about them. So you're gonna go ahead and toggle them off, and we're gonna start with public lands. Public lands is the most important layer that I have on here. It's there to kind of tell you what authority is over the land that you're going to be in, so that you know that you're not trespassing on land that you're not supposed to be on, or on private land or something like that that you shouldn't venture onto. So with public lands, you have different colors that represent the different authorities. So over here with public lands, we're going to hit the info, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and as you can see, you have different colors assigned to the different types of agencies. You know, if you're going on BLM land, everything's pretty well open and free. You can do a lot of things on BLM land that you can't do on other stuff. U.S. Forestry Service, National Park Service, Department of Defense, federal, state, and county. So this federal, a lot of times, may not be available for everybody, and neither will be the Department of Defense in some cases, because those tend to be bases and things of that nature. Like right over here, we'll show you. Right here, where you see North Island, that is not available for you. That is a base. Over here, San Diego, that is a base as well. And up here is another base. So those are areas, Department of Defense are areas that are off limits to the general public. Okay, federal sometimes is, sometimes isn't. It all depends what type of federal it is. Okay, but I know that Department of Defense is off limits. But getting back to that, some of the better land that you're going to run is going to be Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service. Okay, so those are some of the better ones. All right, so when we have that on top, we have always got those things out there so that we can see them good. All right, so we're going to go back, and we are going to exit out of that one. Oh wait, sorry, I have to do this first. The motor vehicle use map is the second one that I use. And the motor vehicle use map is going to give you lots of good information. I'm going to just kind of zoom in here on an area that has a lot of good detail. Oh, there's one right there. All right. Take, for example, all of this right here. So you see these are trails. I know from looking at it before, this is trails that are open to anything that is legal for the highway use. All right. These right here, this is going to be a footpath. That's the Pacific Crest Trail, so it's not legal for us to be on. And these are going to be roads, major roads and stuff. And then this right here is okay for just about anything that is a motorized vehicle. All right. So we're going to go and look at the legend here, and I'll show you there. You see the eye. We're just going to click on that, and then we go down to the legend, and it will give us, see, roads open to all vehicles, roads open to highway legal vehicles only. All right, and then special designations. All right, trails open to all vehicles here as well. Trails open to vehicles 50-inch or less. Those are ATVs and OHVs only. Motorcycles, and then special designation again. Okay, and then road or trail is open seasonally. Those trails right there is going to be like Ducey Ursum in California, that is only open certain times a year. And I believe that the Rubicon is only open certain times a year as well, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, we're going back. So that would, when you have this as second priority, that's going to show up more. And you can also toggle down how much it shows right there, and it will kind of make it less prominent and stuff on the layer whenever you do that kind of stuff. Which right now, that's the only layer we have open, so it's not like we can take it off. All right. And then Gaia Topo Feet. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that one so we can see the topo lines really nice, which I don't think that one would really affect it anyway. But as you see, when you get closer, you have the topo lines and you have the feet. There it is. Okay, waiting for it to come. All right, so as you scroll in farther, you'll be able to get the feet. Yes, there they are. And as you know, as the circles get tighter, that is reaching the peak. So that would be the peak of that particular area. That's probably going to be somewhere in the 4,700 range, if I had to guess. Can't see it there. But anyway, so that would be the top. And that helps you so that you know if you're going to be in the mountainous terrain, the more mountainous terrain and things like that, so you can prepare accordingly for that kind of stuff when you're planning your routes, so you'll know. All right. And then, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And then Gaia Streets. And let's turn off the topo. And Gaia Streets is going to give us a lot more detail inside the city. So as it catches up with us here, went too far out. All right, let's see here. Oops, not there. Go back to layers. All right, so there we go. Gaia Streets is going to give us a lot more detail inside the city to show us where we are as far as if we're in a heavily sorry about that, the internet's moving a little slow because I am outside. So anyway, right here, when you zoom in on a more suburban area, you can see that it will give you a lot more detail. Yeah, there you are, about the areas that you're in as far as the neighborhoods and stuff like that and the streets and everything. So as you zoom in, you'll see more of that with that layer on. Okay, so that is the fourth layer that I have. And then you have the Nat Geo's Trails Illustrated map, which is really handy whenever you are in a like a national park and stuff like that, because we'll get zoomed out here where we can see a little better. So as you can see, you've got a whole lot of detail inside these areas that they have mapped. They don't have a whole lot mapped, but the areas that they do have mapped, you will see a lot of detail. And it'll show you a lot about the terrain and everything like that, and a lot of trails and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. So it gives you a lot of good details and stuff. So if you're going to be in those kind of areas, you definitely want to have that on, because it is a very useful tool. And you can see how, you know, the different types of mountains, if you're going to be traveling on the mountains or on the side of it or in the valley below, you can see all that, which that's also part of what the topo is for as well. So, but yeah. So those are the 5 layers that I use, and now I'm going to put them in line, and I'm going to show you how to adjust. I'm going to put them in there, and I'm going to show you how to adjust them for where you want them in the lineup. Okay, so we got the public lands out first, motor vehicle use map second, topo, streets, and then Nat Geo. This is actually how I would do it, how I would put them in there. But if I wanted to move them, I would just grab one and move it up. And that would be, you know, you just click on it and drag it, and it will move it. So there we go. So now we've got them back in order, and like I said, you can toggle them down for visibility and stuff like that by grabbing the little bar slider and moving it around, and that would help you as far as the visibility. If you want, like I usually keep Gaia streets turned off except when I'm in my planning phase. Or turned way down, so that I don't have to see all those details. But whenever I'm actually out there, I'll actually have that probably either turned off or turned way down. Another one that is really nice to have is the satellite topo, which I don't have it turned on right now, but I will show you right here. And it gives you a lot of those details as well on the terrain, so you can see all the different terrain and stuff like that. So that's always nice to have. It's kind of like Google Earth. A lot of people say that they like to build maps in Google Earth, but you've pretty much got Google Earth when you actually turn on that layer as well. So, you know, I don't leave it turned on all the time because it's a little more detail than what I want, but it is nice to have if you're doing some planning and stuff like that as well. All right, and to show y'all another one that's pretty cool is the historic Typo Map. It actually shows you some stuff that was there before that might not be there now. That's from 1900 and then 1930. And then you've got, there is a Native American lands and Native American and Alaskan Native lands. And that's a pretty neat one. If you're ever going to be on the reservations or anything like that. And then there is just all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you're going out of country, there's plenty of layers out of country as well. And then road maps. It has weather overlays, and I believe in here there is a thing for cell service as well. Yeah, cell coverage for the different carriers: T-Mobile, Sprint, U.S. Cellular, Southern Link, you know, AT&T. So a lot of them, Verizon, all the major carriers are listed there. So if you want to see if you're going to have cell service, you can look there. I don't know how accurate that is because I was looking at the T-Mobile one, and which is the one that I have, and it didn't really seem that accurate. So I don't know how accurate it is. And then you have air quality, things of that nature, and yeah. So, oh, precipitation, things like that you can actually load in there as well. All right. And let's see here. Anything else interesting? I think that's about it. There are all kinds of things that you can dive into. I'd encourage you to do that on your own. Take the time, get in there, figure out what works for you. What works for me might not be what you need, but it works for me. So I wanted to share that with you and kind of give you a rundown of how they work. We'll be bringing another video next week on how to actually lay out a route if you don't have a GPX file to import, and how to kind of do it yourself. And we'll get into that next week. All right, thanks. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the trail.